After 6 long years, U.S. President Donald Trump and his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping met in Busan in South Korea. They aim to reach a truce in the ongoing trade war that has unsettled the global economy. Reports already suggest the two leaders have reached a consensus on key issues, including Beijing's purchase of American soybeans, rare earth export control exercised by China on the United States, and a deal to ease fentanyl-related tariffs. However, there's no formal agreement yet, and the details remain to be hammered out. We break it down for you in our next report. U.S. President Donald Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping have met after 6 years. This in South Korea. So has Busan presented the much-needed breakthrough for Washington and Beijing? The two leaders lavished praises on one another, vowing a new chapter in U.S. China relations. They both agreed upon key issues such as Beijing's purchase of American soybeans, rare earth exports, and a deal to slash fentanyl-related tariffs. But there's no ink on paper, and that is the crucial part right now. First up is rare earth metals. Beijing has for now decided to relinquish its chokehold. But China has realized the hold that it has on the US and the rest of the world because of rare earth minerals, begging the question, how much is China willing to relinquish its control? That's not something we've seen in the Chinese readout. It's also really interesting when you listen to Chinese state media, where the reaction is much more subdued. According to Chinese media, President Xi has urged both sides to talk more as soon as possible. Clearly, that's not a done deal. But both sides have finally managed to get together and step back from the brink of a global trade war. But there's still much to be done before a deal is signed between China and the United States. Here are key takeaways of the Trump and Xi bilateral meet for now. To begin with, Washington will reduce tariffs on Chinese goods by 10%. Meaning they now come to 47% from 57%. Interestingly, US has cut fentanyl-related tariffs to 10%. Indeed, a relief for businesses caught in the US and China's tit-for-tat trade war.
I thought it was an amazing meeting. He's a great leader of a very powerful, very strong country, China. And what can I say? It was an outstanding group of decisions, I think, that was made. A lot of decisions were made. There wasn't too much left out there.
Remember, China's export controls over rare earths are among the biggest sore spots in bilateral tensions between Beijing and Washington. And as per Trump, the meeting with Xi has settled the rare earths issue for now. Soon after, Beijing also announced a suspension of its implementation of relevant export control measures. And according to Trump, Beijing will also be speaking to NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang. NVIDIA, remember, is at the heart of their fight over AI chips. This because China wants high-end chips, but the US wants to limit China's access, citing national security concerns.
This is 1 petaflops.
We did discuss chips, and they're going to be talking to NVIDIA and others about taking chips. Look, we make great chips. NVIDIA is the leader. And I'll be speaking to Jensen from NVIDIA, but they're going to be discussing that with NVIDIA to see whether or not they can do. I said that's really between you and NVIDIA, but we're sort of the arbitrator or the referee. It's a little rough up here. The skies are a little rough.
But China has made a promise that it will immediately resume its purchase of US agricultural products, soybean and other farm products included.
Large amounts, tremendous amounts of the soybeans and other farm products are going to be purchased immediately, starting immediately. If you notice, President Xi authorized yesterday for China to start, did you know that, right? China to start buying in very large quantities of soybeans and other things, which I appreciated. That was a very nice gesture.
The US president has also boasted that China will increase its purchase of American energy, including purchase of oil and gas from Alaska. Not to miss is Trump's promise of greater diplomatic engagements. with a possible visit by the US President in April next year, which she expected to make a return visit to the United States this later in 2026.
We've already agreed to a lot of things, and we'll agree to some more right now. But President Xi is a great leader, a great country, and I think we're going to have a fantastic relationship for a long period of time.
And so the recent U.S. China trade developments between Donald Trump and Xi Jinping are set to have significant consequences for India's economy too. As the U.S. and China move towards new trade understandings, India is closely watching these shifts. Simply because the U.S. imposed tariffs and broader trade realignments influence India's own export prospects and diplomatic engagement with Washington too. And so, the Trump-Xi summit meet has intensified the spotlight now on global trade dynamics, with U.S.-China agreements potentially redirecting trade flows and affecting New Delhi's own competition. India's exports face pressure from newly imposed U.S. tariffs, and so any easing of the U.S.-China trade dispute could lower global protectionism. It will also marginalize India's leverage in bilateral negotiations that are currently on with the U.S. And that's why Indian policymakers are assessing whether to position the country as an alternative supply chain hub to China, raising the key question: can India capitalize on any openings created by shifts in US-China trade ties? All right,